You've been taught to be respectful, to ask, to wait for a sign, to make sure she's comfortable. And while the intention is noble, the effect is devastating. Because women don't surrender to the man who asks for intimacy. They surrender to the man who creates it. She doesn't want to be convinced. She wants to be led. She wants a man whose presence feels like gravity, not pressure, not begging. The psychological awakening. Just inevitability. And once you understand this, you'll never have to ask her for anything again. Because she'll offer it all willingly, breathlessly, desperately. This isn't a tactic. It's a psychological awakening. And you're about to feel what real power tastes like. 1. You don't ask for intimacy. You awaken it. The moment you ask for it, you've already given away your power. Not because wanting her is wrong, but because needing her approval to act on that desire makes her body say no, even if her heart wanted to say yes. Here's the trick no one tells you. You don't ask a woman for intimacy. You create a space where her resistance dies on its own. Let's be clear. This isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional leadership. It's about making her feel so safe, so seen, so subtly own that. Start with the space. Her body gives you permission before her words do. You want to touch her, don't start with your hands. Start with the air around her. Start with the space you create between your energy and hers. Because women don't say yes when they are asked. They say yes when they are moved. And the man who knows this doesn't use words like a request. He uses them like invitation laced with danger. He says things like, I don't want to rush this. I want to see if your energy matches mine. Or, I like how you look at me. He doesn't beg when you're trying not to show it. See the difference? He doesn't beg. He builds tension. He makes her feel like intimacy is already happening subtly, silently, and all that's left is for her to surrender to it. This is the core of the psychological trick. You don't ask with your mouth. You ask with your energy. You lead her into a choice she's already emotionally made. Here's how it looks in real life. You look her in the eyes just a second. Longer than necessary. You lower your voice, not to sound sexy, but to slow her mind down. You touch her with intention. One hand on her lower back. Not both. You lean back, not in. Because he doesn't chase. The man who's in control doesn't chase. He pulls. Every move you make should say, I'm not waiting for permission. I'm waiting for alignment. If she feels safe, she'll come closer. If she doesn't, she won't. But either way, you didn't ask. You led. And here's the most critical part. When you remain unbothered by her no, that's when her maybe turns into curiosity. Because now you're not a man who needs her to say yes. You're a man who attracts yes effortlessly. And that's what makes her feel like giving herself to you is her idea. That's not a trick. That's Stoic seduction. And it never fails. Perfect. Here's the full 700-word section for 2. The trick is making her think it's her idea. You want her to want you. Then stop trying to convince her. Start becoming the man who women don't surrender. Understands one primal truth. Women don't surrender to pressure. They surrender to permission. And the only man they surrender to is the one who makes them feel like the idea wasn't his. It was theirs all along. That's the psychological trick, not manipulation. Invitation. You don't move in because you're allowed. You move in because the space between her and you is already heavy with yes. She wants to feel like her desire took over, like she couldn't stop it, Like she crossed the line, not you. Why? Because when it feels like it was her idea. How men approach intimacy. There's no guilt, no shame, no defense. Only freedom. And freedom is the gateway to her deepest, most raw expression. Here's how the average man approaches intimacy. He builds rapport. He flatters. He signals interest. Then he asks, "Can I kiss you? Do you want to go back to my place? Do you like this?" And just like that, he forces her into logic. She has to analyze, weigh the consequences, decide if she should. But a woman doesn't fall into intimacy through logic. She falls when her emotions run ahead of her mind. When she feels herself moving closer and doesn't know why. When your voice makes her forget the time. When your silence makes her nervous in a way she secretly craves. The man who understands this doesn't push. He pulls without pulling. He watches how she shifts her body when he talks. He notices when her breath catches. He reads her silences, not to react, but to respond through presence. He doesn't say, "I want you." He says, "I like the way you look when you're holding something back." Now she's spiraling. Now she's questioning, what does he see in me that I didn't show? Why does this feel like I'm the one chasing? Because you flipped the script. You didn't just touch her skin. You touched her ego. You made her feel exposed. Not physically, psychologically. And women crave that kind of exposure because it's rare. And what's rare gets desired. Delivery. When a woman feels like she initiated, like she lost control, like she made the first move, even if it was subtle, that memory sticks in her. She'll replay it again and again because it lets her feel two things at once. Empowered and overwhelmed, in control and craving more. That's the sweet spot. Now, let's talk delivery. What do? You slow down your speech. You speak with unfinished thoughts. You don't answer every question. You create curiosity, gaps. You let the silence hum between. You like electricity. You don't say, "Come over." You say, "I was going to spend tonight alone." Unless that changes, leave breadcrumbs. You don't say, "I want you." You say, "You're distracting as hell." You leave breadcrumbs and she follows, not because she has to, but because she needs to know where they lead. This is why the most intimate moments are often born from emotional suggestion, not verbal permission. If she's unsure, she waits. If she's intrigued, she acts. The goal, emotional suggestion, isn't to make her say yes. The goal is to make her feel like not saying yes would haunt her. That's what stays with her. That's what drives her wild. You gave her the fantasy of freedom and the illusion of control. And she gave you her body like it was the most natural decision in the world. That's not manipulation. That's psychological seduction at the highest level. And the men who understand this, they never have to ask. They just create the moment and let her cross the line. 3. When you lead the moment, she gives you everything. There's a reason she didn't respond to your compliment. A reason she changed the subject when you hinted at taking it further. It's not because she didn't want it. It's because you made her lead the moment and she didn't feel safe doing it. Understand this. A woman only opens when she feels like you're already holding the frame. If she senses hesitation, doubt, overanalysis, the man who speaks slowly, her body shuts down because instinctively she knows this man wants me, but he doesn't know how to lead me. And if you can't lead her emotionally, she'll never trust you with her body. Here's what most men don't realize. Women aren't waiting for permission to surrender. They're waiting for a man who knows how to hold that surrender once it's given. The man who speaks slowly, moves with intention, controls the tempo of the moment like a conductor with a symphony. He doesn't need her to make a move. He sets the tone so clearly that her only decision is to follow. Not because he forced her, but because he made it safe to let go. And safety doesn't mean softness. It means certainty. His not thinking, should I kiss her? His reading her, feeling the current. And when it's there, he doesn't ask. He moves calmly, slowly, with presence, and lets her reaction tell him everything. Because a woman doesn't need tell him everything. You to ask if she's ready. She needs to feel that you are. When you lead the moment, she gets to relax. She gets to turn her brain off, to stop calculating, to stop protecting, to stop performing. That's when her femininity takes over. That's when she gets wet without understanding why. That's when she starts reaching for you because your energy said, I've got this. And here's the truth. Most women have never truly experienced that. A man fully grounded, fully present, fully unmoved by outcome. They're used to men who rush, who apologize for wanting, who act bold. Until she pulls away. Then suddenly he turns to a boy again, insecure, shaky, trying to earn it. That's when she loses interest. But the Stoic man, the one who moves slow, speaks little and listens deeply, he becomes a container for her chaos. And that's what she wants because feminine energy is wild. It wants to spill, to swirl, to explode, but only in the presence of something strong enough to hold it. So if you want intimacy, real intimacy, not just her body, but her soul, then don't rush. Lead. Slow everything down. Say less. Let your eye contact speak more. Let your breath control the room. Let your hands guide without grasping. She'll feel it. She'll feel you. And here's what happens next. She starts leaning in without realizing. She starts laughing softer. She starts touching you more. She mirrors your pace. And when the moment comes, she gives you everything. Not because she felt pressure, but because she felt chosen. Because she got to experience a moment where she didn't have to act, didn't have to lead, didn't have to carry the weight. That's what women are starving for. Not pleasure, not performance, but relief. And the only man who gives her that relief is the one who leads. Who, conclusion, doesn't ask, is this okay? But says, with his presence, with his stillness, this is yours when you're ready. And when she is, she won't hesitate. She won't hide. She won't forget because real intimacy isn't asked for. It's created. And the man who creates it owns her memory forever. Now, you know, she doesn't want a checklist. She wants to be moved into yes dash, not negotiated. Into it. If you're becoming the man who creates presence instead of pressure, comment, I don't ask, I attract. And if this video awakened something you forgot was inside you, like this video. Subscribe for more Stoic, seductive insight, music,